Welcome to today's edition of Crypto Corner at InvestorIdeas.com. News on what's driving the cryptocurrency market. Hey everyone, this is Sam Mowers here again, and welcome to episode 688 of the Crypto Corner podcast. For news today, RIOT Blockchain has shared its September updates. DGHI intends to consolidate its shares for a possible NasDaq listing, and BNXA has made a new hire for its European expansion. Just before we get into the show today, though, a quick reminder that if you enjoy this podcast, to please feel free to share it or leave us a review. And as always, I recommend checking out some of the other podcasts on InvestorIdeas.com. This includes the Cannabis Podcast, the Clean Tech and Climate Change Podcast, along with many others, all of which will bring you up to speed on the latest stock news and trends in their respective spaces. Alright, so RIOT Blockchain Inc., which trades on the NasDaq as RIOT, has shared its production and operations updates for the month of September. Highlights include the production of 406 Bitcoins. This is up about 346% as compared to September 2020. And the company boasts a deployed fleet of approximately 25,646 miners, with a hash rate capacity of 2.6 exahash per second. An excerpt from the press release looks ahead to the fourth quarter. Quote, by Q4 2022, RIOT anticipates a self-mining total hash rate capacity of 7.7 exahash per second, assuming full deployment of approximately 81,150 Antminers acquired from Bitmain. Of this mining fleet, approximately 95% will be the latest generation S19 series model of miners. Upon full deployment, the company's total self-mining fleet is expected to utilize approximately 257 megawatts of energy, with approximately 206 megawatts deployed at RIOT's Windstone facility, and approximately 51 megawatts currently deployed at CoinMint LLC's facility. In addition to the company's self-mining operations, Windstone hosts approximately 200 megawatts of institutional Bitcoin mining clients. End quote. DigiHost Technology Inc., which trades on the TSXV as DGHI, has announced its intention to consolidate its outstanding subordinate voting shares and proportionate voting shares so as to facilitate a proposed listing of its subordinate voting shares on the NasDaq capital market and satisfy the minimum share price requirements set by NasDaq. CEO Michel Amar explained, quote, a key aspect of our company's growth strategy is to provide our investors with greater liquidity through the listing of its shares on an internationally recognized stock exchange. Uplisting the company's shares from the OTC market to NasDaq will also provide the company with broader access to capital and institutional recognition. The company's current financial position presents the opportunity to accelerate the plan for meeting the listing requirements of the NasDaq by consolidating the company's shares. End quote. Finally, BNXA Holdings Inc., which trades on the TSXV as BNXA, has announced the hiring of Jan Lorenk as the company's managing director of Europe. Lorenk had previously worked for firms including JP Morgan and Wirex. At the latter, he led European operations as managing director and head of EEA markets. Holger Arians, the CEO of BNXA, said, quote, as we grow and expand globally, it is critical that we bring on experienced hires in each of our key markets. Jan represents a foundational piece for our EU expansion strategy. We are in the process of expanding our regulatory and compliance capabilities across a number of markets in the EU, and Jan will lead these efforts. Additionally, our EU workforce has grown from 4 people to close to 30, and having strong leadership and management practices in that region is a must. Jan is uniquely qualified to fill this role. End quote. That does it for today's Crypto Corner. If you would like to be a guest or sponsor for this podcast, contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products, services, or securities. Investors are reminded all investment involves risk and possible loss in investment. To hear more InvestorIdeas.com podcasts, please visit InvestorIdeas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can also hear our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and most audio platforms available.